mentioned there before about you've never had the name to be, manage one of the top teams. Is that something that wrangles with you a little bit? Like, considering you've had more promotions than any other manager, and what you've done in the game, the longevity you've had managing since 1980. Does it wrangle with you?
Was there any chances?
Probably does. Yeah, I turned Chelsea down. When I was at Notts County, early 90s.
Wow.
I'd done really well at Notts County. We took two from the bottom division. No, not the bottom division. From third division to second to the first. Then before the Premier League, and we'd gone up in 2 years. And the lads come to me and said, "Oh, please, Gaffer, if another manager comes in now, they won't know us and we'll get rid of us." And had a lot of psychological pressure on me. I went to see Ken Bates twice down forget what, beginning with a B, Beaconsfield, where he lived, and I thought Chelsea was a good thing for a young manager. Are you with me? That Kerry Dixon and people like that playing then. But the chairman came to see me and pleaded with me and all that lot. And in the end, I didn't go. I remember even when I told them I wasn't going, they even offered me Mick Jones, who was my assistant, and they said, "You can have Mick Jones's wages on top of what we've offered you." And I said, "No, it's not about the money. I wish you all the best and all that." And I stayed, and I got the sack 6 months later.
Oh,
so that really set me up in management. That because you're loyal and you get stitched up. So when managers leave, I've got every sympathy for them now. I think do what you've got to do, do what you've got to do to progress your career, because that's a great example.
Have you never felt that loyalty at one club? Have you never felt that balance was a bit more addressed?
I think every club I've been at, I'm often asked, Chris, about which is my best promotion or which is my favourite. But they're into favourite, really. We were 50-1 to finish bottom at Scarborough when we won the league and stayed up, and Barnett was throwing all the money around, and big Stan Flashman with Barry. Barry still rings me up, Barry Fry. So, we were...
What a character.
We were outsiders, and it was funny when we were at Scarborough, because obviously they were supposed to beat us. We went to PFA do, and Ian St John were doing comparing, and he was saying, "Nice to see you at the back, Mr. Barnett table, the next Football League members." And we're in a table here, Scarborough, never got a mention. Are you with me? And we thought, we'll show them. And so, we were like 50-1 outsiders. And to win that with part-timers, are you with me? I used to put 50p's in machine at where I lived at Toddick in Sheffield, and everybody used to come training. But we never let that affect us. And Barnett came to see us, their players, when they hadn't got a game. They came 3 times. And every time they come, we won. And the last time we played Sutton down the slope, and they all come, and they were all sat across. We were told just before the game, we didn't know they were coming, all Barnet lads are over there. So I said to our lot, right, when you go out, I want you to go across to them and clap them, wave to them, these Sutton lads. And the old lads went out and clapped them and all that lot, and we won 2-0. And that's when we more or less got, I don't know why they kept coming, because they kept bringing us luck, coming to the game. But that was Scarborough, and then I went, like in Notts County was really special. Then I've only left clubs when I've fell out with chairman, really. That's when I've left clubs.
I just want to ask that. Obviously, you've had managed a lot of clubs, and they say in football, don't pick the club, pick the owner, pick the chairman. In your time through football, what's been your best relationship with an owner and your most challenging? Because you've obviously had some clubs, and we might not know the success that goes behind it, but...
Yeah. I've had quite a few of each. I was very lucky. I had Derek Dooley at Sheffield United, and he's not like a chairman. He was like a father to me. He was an unbelievable man. Lost his leg and with gangrene and all sorts, playing for Sheffield Wednesday and all that. But he was special for me. But Mehmet Dalman at Cardiff, even now I know he's not old enough to be my father, but I talked to him, and because I'd had a few offers on the table when I left Huddersfield as well. I had offers to go to Derby County and Forest and places like that, and I ended up going to Plymouth, of all places, because when I finished at Notts County, I went to Torquay for 12 games and kept them up. I loved it in non-league. Everybody said, you can't go there because if they get relegated, it'll all be on your record. We loved it at Torquay. We stayed up at Carlisle, and You know, we all stopped off in Lancaster and had a Chinese restaurant, and fantastic. They're the nights you remember. So we you know, that was like Torquay, and then I went to Plymouth, which was fabulous. He was probably the nice man, Dan Macaulay, but in the end he couldn't. It was difficult for me in that, and in the end he got rid of me after we got promotion and what have you, and that was a disappointment because it's a fabulous club, Plymouth. That's why I still live down there. I love going to watch him, and so that was difficult. But Mehmet Delman, I'd got 2 or 3 offers, and of course I told Sol Bamba and Junior Euler, who I'd had a few times, don't sign for anybody. I'm going to get a club. I've got 2 or 3 clubs to. This is like July. I've got 2 or 3 clubs asking me now. So it's just a matter of time. Anyhow, July, August, September, it weren't right. And then this Mehmet Delman rang me. I kept saying to them, they kept saying, Gaffer, we've got to pay bills, you know. We've got to pay bills sometime. I said, I know.
Wait for me.
Wait for me. So anyhow, Mehmet Delman rang me. I was in Scotland. And he said to me, I don't want to interview you, Neil. I want you to have the job. So will you come and see me? I said, yeah, of course I'll come and see you. So I flew down straight away, and I saw him next day in a gentleman's club in London. And he said, yeah, I want you to be a manager and all this, that and other. And I said, well, will you be hands-on? Because Vincent was in Malaysia, and so it was difficult. And he said, yes. And I forged a relationship with him. And it was ever so funny because he said, they knew that there were a couple of clubs after me then. And he said, he went off to speak to Vincent on the phone, and he come back and he said, Neil, Vincent would like you to sign something. I said, Mehmet, I said, here you go. I shoved my hand out. I said, shake my hand. I said, I'm from Yorkshire. I said, I've shook a few chairman's hands in the last few years, Mehmet, and it's cost me millions. I said, but shake my hand and it's my word. And he shook me and he said, I know, but will you sign something? So I leans on table. I got a serviette. And I will manage Cardiff City, and I signed a serviette. I said, here you are, Mehmet. That's your, you know, if you want to give it. And he went, and that's where we, even today, you know, I just think the world of him, really. He's a superman, and to work for him, because you do, I know it sounds silly, you work for football clubs, and you've got the fans, but a manager, who manages the manager? Who motivates the manager? It's amazing. You need somebody. Are you with me? Vincent was
Who does that? Who does that for you? Who motivated you throughout your career? Did you have anyone that you'd go to?
Yeah, no. I'll tell you who motivated me, Steve. Revenge. What motivated me?
I love
if
that.
somebody sacked me.
So good.
If somebody sacked me, I wanted to go somewhere else and get success and say, that's what you missed out on.
And would you tell
That's
them?
what's motivated.
When's that happened?
You don't have to tell them, Chris.
When's that
They read the
happened?
papers.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to say a word. Are you with me? You have to do it. Hey, you have to do it with results. You have to do it properly. You can't just talk a good game. You've got to do it. And even when I got a free as a player, I had 3 or 4 free transfers. You know, the first one broke me out at Chesterfield. I was 18, and McGuigan and my best mate rang me up on a Friday morning and said to me, I'm ever so sorry, Neil, I've just seen in Derbyshire Times that I'd been released. I didn't even know. He hadn't told me. So I said, oh, yeah, I know. He said, have you read it? I said, oh, yeah, I hadn't read it. I said, yeah. So I put the phone down, cried my eyes out. I couldn't believe it. And that was a good lesson, because I knew when I became a manager, I would tell my players, every one of them, if I were releasing them, if I were letting them go, if I weren't. No, I wouldn't want anybody to read about it in papers. It broke me out there. So I learned lessons from really everybody around. Are you with me? Around in what to do. And it doesn't matter. When I was a Sunday League manager, I got them all V-neck sweaters. I know it sounds silly, but they were unheard of then. We all got tracksuits, same tracksuits, and we played in the Sunday League Cup, and we played Stoke, over them Stoke somewhere, and I ended up, we get a bus, we got a sponsor, we took them in tracksuits there, we stopped overnight. Are you with me? So even at that level, I'd started planning, because I thought, if a player feels good, they play better. I know it sounds silly.
No, without doubt. Yeah, especially at that level, I think the little things matter so much when you see the top players. You want what the top players have got, and you might not quite get it, but anything around that makes you feel better and makes you play better. Can I just ask, obviously, how you feel about today's game? You kind of step back from it a little bit now. You've been in football your whole life. What do you make of the game at the moment?
I enjoy it. I think it's a good time to be nearing the end of my career, really, because when I was at Cardiff, we got promotion and we worked our socks off. And near the end of the game, the season, we played Chelsea, and I can never say his name, the fullback, Ascabala. What is it?
Aspilicueta.
Well done, sir. I never say it. So
they call him Dave.
he scores. He scored an equaliser for Chelsea in the 89th minute or whatever it was, 2 or 3 yards offside, and I can see him now. Ed Smart, never forget his name, didn't flag, and I looked at him, and so we didn't win the game. If we'd have won that game, we'd have stayed up. I know we would have stayed up. And I remember going into his room after and saying to him, "Do you know? I wish you could come in my dressing room now and have a look at the devastation. And you should have been good enough to see that." And so I was a massive fan of VAR coming in. So VAR's come in. And now I don't envy it at all now, because all that celebration that you get is tempered with, unless we're going to be another minute to see if it's a goal or not. It's killed it now. And for me, I'm so glad I'm not that way now, because I wanted VAR because of the injustice. Craig Pawson refereeing, twice against Chelsea. I got done twice. I can't remember any thousand I got fined with them, but I remember John Terry at Palace. I had a Scott Dan.
Yeah.
He kicked somebody, Chris, yellow card, right? John Terry, a worse tackle 5 minutes later, but John Terry puts his arm around Craig Pawson. So I'm blind, never a booking. And in press, I said, "Well, you've only got to look at the tackle on that John Terry did. If that were one of my lads, I'd get booked. Something like 12 grand fine."
When you get that fine,
something like 12 grand fine. Craig Paul,
But when do you get that fine? Do you get that fine? How quickly do you know that you're getting fined or there's trouble? I don't think we've asked any manager that's been on this podcast, and maybe you're the best person to ask. How long after you make those comments? Because you must go away and then go, "They're going to come for me."
Yeah.
When do they come for you?
Well, let me tell you the best one, right? We're playing.
Few, isn't it?
We're playing Bristol City, right? Bristol City. Was it Cardiff? I think it was Cardiff. So we're winning 1-0. 90 minutes gone. They put 4 minutes up, injury time. So we're 94, 95. We're into 96th minute, and they get a free kick. They take the free kick, and the guy, he punches it out. It's a corner. 96 minutes. And he lets them take the corner. They take the corner. I think it was Big Flinty. Big centre-half, scores. They go wild. And when we kicked off, he blew. 97th minute, right? So I go in my dressing room, and I've gone daft. I've gone daft. And I said to them all, "Now I've got to go on television now, lads, and I'm going to get effing fined. So when I get fined, you lot are going to pay for it, right?" I said, "I'm not going to pay for this because you've done it all, and you're going to pay for it." So it goes on television. "Well, what did you think, Neil, about the 90?" I said, "Well, I'll be honest with you. I was disappointed when they scored, and I looked across and referee jumped up and thumped the air like that. I thought he was out of order." I think
Did you say that?
About 12 grand, yeah. I said, "I thought he was out of order when he jumped up and thumped the air, the referee." So I've had a few.
Did the players pay for it?
Yeah, the players bloody paid for that. Dead right, they did.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that happening before?
That's
the manager gets
phenomenal.
the fine, but it's on the players. And it's pre-warned as well.
Hey, just going back to Sol Bamba, by the way. You know when I said about Cardiff? So we played the first game, Bristol City, on the telly. So these two, him and Junior Euler, I rings them up. "We're going to Cardiff, lads. Get down quickly. I'll see you tomorrow." I think it was Monday or Tuesday that week. We're playing Friday night, I think, on television against Bristol City. Because I saw it a couple of weeks ago, when they replay games. So we gets down, I signs them both playing in the game. And Sol Bamba scored the goal. and Junior Oil had made one of them and all. And we beat Bristol City the first game on that, and these two got paid for a bit. Anyhow, so that, I mean, they were good pros. But dressing room, you need a good dressing room, and you need players. You know, like Peter. You know, like forwards. Forward need loving more than defenders. They're a lot more insecure. You are right. You know, because they have egos, they have to create. Yeah, but they're a lot more insecure. So forwards need telling how good they are and all. And if your manager believes in you, forwards know. If they know about how the manager believes in me, and they give more. I know it sounds silly, they shouldn't do, but they know, because the reason they give more is they're relaxed. They know that the manager believes in them. That might be the same in midfield. I don't know, Steve, but I'm sure you played for managers who, when you believe in them, you give that bit. You know, you seem to give that bit more.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's confidence as well. Like, I remember, Harry coming in at Southampton when I was struggling. I couldn't even get in the team, and then he comes in, why are you not playing? You're going to start every game for me. Similar to what you did with Adele.
Yeah.
I just felt like, my height, basically, you know what I mean? And I went out there and scored 16 goals after Christmas and ended up at Liverpool. It was just that confidence that I needed.
Yeah.
That's what...
With Junior Euler, when at QPR. When I went in there, he'd been bombed out. I'm sure you've seen it, where the players have been bombed out training with kids.
Yeah.
So I tried to sign him once, so I shouted him over. I said, "What are you doing, Junior?" He said, I'm training with I've been told to train with the under-23s or under-18, something like that. I said, "Well, you're playing Saturday."
But like, how must he feel though?
Straight away.
Yeah. Maybe I just want to touch on Sheffield United, right? 2 semi-finals that year. Obviously going out the Arsenal game, you're part of that. The Arsenal situation.
We played ever so well against Arsenal.
The save, wasn't it? Seaman with the claw, wasn't it?
Fabulous save. And Arsenal's best player was Graham Poll.
That's what I was going to ask.
He was their best midfield player, Graham Poll. He intercepted 2 great passes. The only thing he didn't do is get on the end of the cross and put it in. They said to me, "What do you think about him?" I say he's a legend in his own mind, a bit like Mike Dean and a few others. Yeah. But they are a bit legend in their own minds. And but my lads did ever so well against Arsenal. Wow, we played really well. Could have won that game. And Liverpool, very similar as well. We were a bit unlucky at Liverpool. Once again, goalie comes out, handballs it, we were through. Should have been sent off. Kirkland, I think it was then. Yeah. Should have been sent off. And Alan Wiley. No. You don't get decisions like that. It's like I said to you earlier about Craig Pawson. I've got done twice against Chelsea. I wouldn't want him against Chelsea again, Craig. But it's not that they are biased as such. It's just psychologically. When you've got 40, 50,000 fans,
they're lent on.
It's just psychological. If you meet referees, I mean, I'm surprised that they're letting them. You're going to listen to what they're saying and miking up, because I think that would show people just how they are, and I think that's bad for them, really. If I'm honest. So it's. I'm not sure it's a good idea, me.
Neil, there's a few bits of any other business that we just need to clear out, because we could talk to you for days, I think. But just some quick thoughts on a couple of these topics. And there's a couple of here that are from questions that people have sent in as well. So England aspirations. Did you ever have those aspirations, and did you feel that to a certain extent you could have done a job being involved in the international setup?
No, not at all. I mean, the last few years I wouldn't have minded another international job. Are you with me? One of the, other the nations or what have you. I've thought, I look at these teams. I look at some of the managers involved in them all. So, that's never. I'm disappointed that I've never had an opportunity like that. But England, not in a million years. I mean, the stick that you get when people like Sir Bobby got stick and people like that. Who would want that? I mean, our press are pretty ruthless with managers, and I've always tried to be good with the press. If a press man rings me and leaves a message, I always 9 times out of 10 I go back, because normally they're okay. And when I first started, I used to have pressmen on the bus with me, but then you get the young up and coming red tabloid lads who just want headlines and nothing to do with the story. And it's a shame that some of it's like that.
Well, speaking of the headlines, just to give a bit of context to the story, when you said, and it's one of your famous quotes, "serves you right for Muscat," what had Muscat done?
No, he was just the most horrible, nastiest player I've ever seen in my life, Kevin. I mean, he was, you know.
Would you have him in your team though?
No, I wouldn't. No. I mean, listen, I don't mind you being like a Chris Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't mind the tackles. But Kevin
Horrible, wasn't it?
Kevin was a bit naughty with his tackles. I think he was the first one that VAR would have sorted out. Are you with me? The ones where where you leave your studs above the ankle, things like that. I didn't like that. And we had some right good, but that game, Jagielka went in goals there. That were at Millwall.
Yeah.
And we were losing 1-0 second half, and we ended up winning 2-1. And I think I said something like, serves you right about Muscat getting sent off, because I think Jagger were better than Paddy Kenny that day.
Neil, two other quick ones. I'm a celebrity. Would you go to the jungle if asked?
No, I have been asked in the past and what have you. And I would have, I think it wouldn't worry me about that, but the kids don't want me to do that, really.
I don't know.
So-
Oh, I think they love it. Harry was great.
Yeah,
They gave Harry
but how do you follow that? He won it.
It's true, actually.
I think people would love you there.
I'll tell you what I do enjoy, Chris. My shows.
Yeah.
I do. I've got about 7-8 shows to do in May and June.
What do you mean, Neil Warnock the musical?
Yeah, the musical.
No. You go and do the talking.
Yeah,
after dinner
I've got
speaking.
one at Portsmouth, one at Ipswich, Wimbledon, places like that.
No, but if you are
Cardiff.
into musical theatre, this is the kind of thing we can facilitate as a podcast. If you were interested in Neil Warnock the musical, we could even get Luke from Jersey Boys. We can even see if we can get him to potentially play.
No, Luke sounds as if I've just got something pounds poison with his voice. Are you with me? There's only one Frankie Valli, and I don't think Luke could take me off. Although he looks a bit like that.
Neil Warnock the musical would be phenomenal, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think we should look into it.
Boys, I've got to ask you one question as well. You know when you looked into the camera, was it Cardiff?
Yeah,
Where
good.
did that come from?
Yeah.
Because he shoved his camera
Yeah, you just-
right in front of my bloody face, and I thought, right, I'm going to sort this out. So I'm not having him. So, because I go and do that, and then they say to me, "You were just like Liam Gallagher." I ain't got a clue what they were talking about. Me, I just did it as normal thing.
Yeah.
But then, because that becomes
put it to
a
music.
phenomenon, doesn't it? On that. So
How
I
do you
think
find all that? Like,
I think as you get older, I mean, when you first start, criticism and all that lot, but as you get older, I think, like Ipswich and places like that. I remember Ipswich, we were losing 1-0, and all the fans at Ipswich chanting, Warnock, what's the score? And me putting me one finger
I remember
up.
that.
No, 1-0. Yeah, but I had plenty of time, and we equalised in last minute, one each. So I goes on, and I go like that, one each. And then I go in Prescott, and I've got a player, Collins, I think it were, chasing me, saying, "You can't be putting two fingers up to the crowd." And what's he talking about? And then I've got the one tabloid, Daily Mirror. It must have been Mirror. They always get me. And he says, the guy. I said, "Who do you work for, son?" He said, "The Daily Mirror." I said, "Oh yeah." He says, "Neil, why did you put two fingers up?" I said, "That'll be your headline, won't it? Two finger salute by Warnock. Did you not see how I did it?" And that day, by the Monday, in the post at the ground, I'd had 33 letters from Ipswich fans, all saying, "Neil, don't ignore everything you said. We thought it were brilliant how you reacted, and we, after what we did to you." And I thought, well done. And I wrote back to every one of them, Pete.
Did you really?
Every one of the 33, yeah.
Oh, fair
But
play.
Ipswich. So I'm doing a show at Ipswich, and I'm Portsmouth's another one I've always loved to manage, because whenever I stood on the touchline at Portsmouth, and I'm shouting an instruction onto my player, they always drowned me. They could never hear me, because the bloody fans behind me would get behind. It was just amazing. So I said to Steve, who's running the shows, "Can you just try and get me one or two in them areas where I've always wanted to go?"
You speak so passionately about it. We know you got huge passion for the game. Is there an element that you go back in?
Oh, absolutely. I've not retired, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm only unemployed.
I just want to know if there's an element that you'll go. Like, would you go back in? Obviously, because you speak so freely now about enjoying it and the shows and having a bit of downtime, because it takes over your life. A lot of people, obviously, outside of football won't realise, especially for a manager.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally swamps your life. But it seems like you're enjoying this side of it now.
Yeah, I do. I do enjoy it. I mean, the problem I've had this year is I normally work February onwards. I only work February, March, April. It's not bad, is it? 3 months. But the problem is, all the clubs have got rid of the managers already, haven't they? So I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left now.
There'll be someone that needs saving, 100%, and you'll be in there.
Yeah, but
You'd take it on, would you? You'd still
absolutely, yeah. And it's not about the money now. It's about getting satisfaction. Are you with me? And I look at, there's so many things that I'm not bothered about doing, and it wouldn't worry me doing some things. And people say, "Well, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do this." I do enjoy it. I do enjoy different things and the media.
You're willing to manage south of Watford as well. That's fine.
I am a little bit now. Yeah, I think below Watford is okay now. It's reprehensible.
We've done QPR and Palace. You know,
Oh, I know.
Right. London's all right now.
They were brilliant. Them. I mean, Roy, he'd say it's his last year as well, but he's got a good shift out of them lads. I mean, the atmosphere at Palace was special, and QPR similar. Teams right on top of you. It's fabulous for a manager. Really great on a manager where you haven't got acres of room behind, because they're at QPR you think they were sat on your shoulder. They were that close to you, and like you say, when I was at Palace, it was special. So I'm not bothered. There might not be anything, and it won't bother me now, because the shows. I'm sure you're going to come to one of them, aren't you? I think.
We'd love to.
What would we expect, Neil?
Hey, Peter, I've done this favour for you. I'm doing one at Wimbledon.
Okay.
So I'll give you your date there.
Let me know.
Yeah.
I'll come down 100%.
You can bring Abby, because we've been looking at her shows as well.
Okay.
On telly.
Yeah. Join them.
We're looking at the houses.
Oh, yeah, have you watching that? Have you? Oh, I'll let her know.
Don't worry, she's not coming around ours. I'm not. Yeah.
Let her know you've been watching. She'll be pleased with that.
Yeah.
Right, well, honestly, Neil, we could sit here, I reckon, honestly, and talk to you all day.
Days.
If you span a career that starts, we've gone across 4 decades, is a credit to you. Absolute privilege to talk to you. Great stories, and we wish you well for the future. But thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, and you, Steve, and everybody,
Cheers.
Chris, and all the crew. It's been great to go. I don't plan these stories; they just come.
They're the best ones.
Honestly, and that's why I knew you'd be a fantastic guest. Well, what do we make of that, lad? Character.
Yeah, character.
Yeah.
Quite a lot to dissect there, it feels. He sounds... he's very proud, isn't he? He's a very proud man of what he's achieved in football, and the way he goes about it. Feels quite uncompromising, which is what you alluded to at the start, Steve.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest, I come away from that chat going, quite like Neil Warnock. Am I wrong to think this?
No, not at all. Listen. I've been on a pitch when I've played against him, right? And it was never nice. Do you know what I mean? The teams were difficult, tough, hard. I mean, some of the players, we mentioned certainly that Sheffield United team was my first involvement with his teams. Like Chris Morgan, I remember being possibly one of the hardest defenders I've ever played against. But right throughout the team, he had hard men, which reflected who he is as a person. But I feel like he gave a softer side of himself there as well, and quite a fun side of him.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me there was his motivator, which was revenge.
Which we can all take that with us.
Which
It's the new year.
And we didn't know really how to do with that. I think there was a 2-second silence, and then the penny dropped.
Yeah, that was the revenge shout was amazing. I thought he was going to say, my wife. She's my motivation.
Yeah.
My family. And he went, revenge.
By the way, I didn't want to ask. I assume that is Sharon, right? Sharon's his wife.
Yeah, he did mention her. Yeah, this is someone
At
else's
first, he
wife.
mentioned Sharon. I was like, "Who the fuck is Sharon?" didn't want to come across rude.
I assumed that. I just assumed as well. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure it is. Yeah. We'll do our research after the pod.
But yeah, also fascinating. This shout. I don't know. Neil Warnock the musical strikes me as something that we should be looking to get ahead on for maybe Christmas.
Well, he's doing really well with his speak. He does a few. He's doing like a little bit of a tour, going around places and chatting. And listen, you could listen to the man for hours. I've got so many stories that people have told me, like playing with Sean Derry, Phil Jagielka, players that you've played with over the years, Michael Tong, Michael Brown, players that played. You speak to them, and everyone's got
Everyone's got a Neil Warnock
Neil
story.
But why don't we throw it out there then? Why don't we look to, the Edinburgh Fringe, for example, later this year? Just whilst come on, like, why don't we just put it out there? Are you part of some sort of performance troupe, whether that is little acting kind of thing? And I don't know what I'm sort of imagining, even if it is just a room that can only have 20 people in, like a really small venue, and we just have a group of 4 or 5 actors who are willing to kind of create Neil Warnock the musical. We can get involved in that, and then I think we should be at the performance because imagine we make it happen.
Yeah. Listen, that's something that we should look into.
Yeah,
and let's look into it.
let's look into it.
I can see a Crouch Fest 4 segment on.
Imagine
Neil
we've been
Warnock.
off Crouch Fest and just get into musicals. Maybe that's what we do.
Like the Bill Kenwright.
Yeah, but there'll be all sorts of. I mean, some of the people we could get to play. We could even get some of the footballers, if they want to get involved, playing themselves in the musical. But the songs, we could make our own version of "This Is Me" about Neil Warnock.
It's got legs. This is
It has got legs. This, I think. All right, little brainstorm. But if you are in the sort of theatrical side of our audience and kind of see the potential here, get in touch with us, and we'd love to explore this.
All right, lovely. Should we get into a few messages? I got
do
one
it.
here from Johnny, lads. He says, back in the early 2000s, I was at the Morecambe game with some of my mates on a uni social. At half-time, an announcement was played asking for if anyone had referee qualifications. One of my mates, who was about 7 pints deep, had refed in the past but didn't have the qualifications they were asking for. After a while of the announcement going on, we convinced him just to go down there and do it. Once the players returned from half-time, we spotted he was now acting as the 4th official. His first involvement in the game came when Morecambe made a double substitution, and all 20 lads on the social went mental singing our own chants and throwing inflatables at the dugouts.
Wow. So one of their mates, 7 pints deep, was
Became a
involved.
fourth official.
How good's that?
Yeah.
You'd get a little bit leery, wouldn't you? Because 4th officials are the ones that calm things down. Because when the referee makes a decision, it's the 4th that gets it in the ear. But after a few bevies, you'd be like, "Oi,
Shut up.
settle down."
What are you giving it? What are you looking at?
I wonder if most 4ths have a little dab before they go out.
The 4ths get so you never know anything like it. I don't know. I remember a manager speaking to me. He was getting a lot of stick at the time. Certain manager, I want to say. And I remember his dad. I was speaking to him. He said, if was going through a tough time at the moment. He said his dad's stopped coming to the games. He said, and when he explained to me, he said, "How you stand in that little white box every week and get absolutely abused? Like, why? Why do you do it?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "I don't know at times."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that with the 4th official, it's like, you go to work and it's like, "Have a nice day, darling," and you stand there and you go, "What are you going to do today?" "I'm just going to get absolutely abused by both benches."
I think it's the reputation now that comes with being a 4th official. It's like they need a rebrand or something. If anything, maybe, because like VAR isn't called the 5th, 6th and 7th, is it? And this role of 4th official is just kind of, it's become so tainted, I think. People expect to be able to just say whatever to the 4th official. It's almost like they need to skip over it. It's, that hotel in North Korea where it's like they don't have a floor on a certain level. I think it goes from it's like 10, 11, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what goes on floor 12, whatever it is. I think they need to do that with 4th officials now. I think it needs to be 1, 2, 3, have the 4th official, but call it a 5th or something like that.
Yeah,
They need a
okay,
total
missing out
rebrand.
the
So just
fourth. It
not
needs
the
a
fourth.
rebrand.
It needs to totally change it up.
What about the touchline referee?
It needs that because I think VAR, you're not numbering. They're almost anonymous in this VAR thing, aren't they? Because there's just a gaggle of them. What is the collective for a load of VARs? VRRs?
Yeah.
Varses.
Varses? I don't know.
Needs a rebrand. Something,
Needs a
'cause
rebrand.
It's not fair on him, I don't think. Or her.
Well, unless you're 7 pints deep, and then it's a case of you're taking anyone
You're
on.
all good. All good. Yeah, just one other thing I want to touch on. Obviously, my driving's been getting a bit of heat. From you mainly. I don't know why you think it, but you think I'm very very by the book in my driving.
Almost rigid. When
yeah.
you're the kind of person that when you're driving, your back is straight against the seat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've had this sent in, and someone said, "Are you actually a driving instructor?" About me, Peter J. Crouch, independent driving instructor.
Seriously?
Wow.
It's on Google.
How many stars?
5 stars.
Whoa! Whoa!
I've had 3 Google reviews. I am based out of Feltham. But yeah,
This is a genuine driving.
Yeah,
instructor.
I don't want to read his exact address out because.
Well,
He
he
may have a
surely
few
wants
people-
the business though, doesn't he? If
Do you
he's
think
a
he
driving
does?
instructor on
Well,
Google.
if it's on, I suppose I can say it, can't I?
Well, maybe say the area.
Well, he's in
Feltham.
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 There can't be that many P Crouches in Feltham.
Yeah, he's by the Asda in Feltham.
But that's great. So are you
Well,
saying
it's not me. But my middle name is James. Peter J. Crouch is my entire name.
But do you think this fella, I'm assuming it's a fella who's doing the driving instructing, is called Peter J. Crouch, or is it he's themed it around you? So it's like, I don't know, a driving instructor for other tall people or footballers
Or other
Is
rigid
it-
drivers.
or your careful drivers
I
out
wonder
there.
if the people that he instructs can only drive if their head touches the headrest.
Exactly. So we're running out of these now, aren't we? We're really running out.
bollocks. I can't believe you're even saying it.
Peter adjusts the mirrors before every drive. On the left and right, he just has to sort of twiddle the...
The best ones you said last week, was it?
He puts
put
his-
the ignition on.
he
Puts his belt on before the ignition.
Do you know, that's really stuck in my brain, that.
I had to go in the car the other day and I thought, I'm putting this fucking ignition on now before the milk goes on.
Well, we need to do a bit of digging into what the situation is
Good
here,
luck
because
with it, mate. It's not me.
yeah, but it is your full name as a business, which is incredible. Like, I almost want to go and have a lesson
Well,
with
I
him.
just think if you have had a lesson with Peter J. Crouch or Crouchy, as he likes to be called,
Oh, mate, why don't we get him here? Why don't he come pick us up from where we record the podcast and you go do a little lesson with him? We film it and we'll go see what his take is on your driving style.
All right, listen, lads, let's get in touch with Peter Crouch and see if we can get a lesson.
I think you should have not a lesson, maybe a test. Not a real test, but just like a mock
A mock
test
test.
to see if you would pass.
As well. Oh, it's so good.
Garden chat there. All right, let's
do it.
Yeah, all good.
Okay, got a message from Sam here. Crouchy, you recently mentioned that you play paddle. I wanted to know which ex-player would you choose as your paddle partner and golf partner? You like a bit of paddle, don't you?
I do like paddle, yeah. Golf partner, right? So I think we'll go with that. It'd be easier. Like I think you go Jimmy Bullard, Simon Davis,
Digger was good.
You wouldn't go Bale.
Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
That's what they're the 3. I've got.
Harry Kane's good as well, isn't
Harry
he?
Kane.
He's very good.
I was
One of those.
only made aware of the Gareth Bale golf course in his garden
Oh yeah,
the other day.
Sawgrass hole.
Amazing, isn't it?
Wales.
Three
He's got the island
Yeah.
green.
3 of the
Because
best
he's got
holes.
it's 3 holes,
Yeah.
isn't it? And I saw a picture of it, and he was saying that he can't really use it all that often because of the weather and it gets dark. Have either of you played on that course?
No,
the garden
actually,
course.
no.
It's in the Welsh Valleys, isn't it? I think it's...
Mate, can you imagine having 3 proper holes in your garden?
Yeah.
Like,
He's
Incredible.
He's a proper golfer as well. But Simon Davis was up there, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, Digger
I didn't
can
play
play.
with him, but Jimmy Bullard's up there as well.
Jimbo's putting a lot of effort in. I played with Jimmy the other week, and he's mustard. I think he's going to really try and give it a go.
Chicken Dicks potentially as well.
Paddle.
Yeah,
Who would you go with the paddle
Go
one?
with the paddle. Do you know what I played? I saw in Dubai playing Didier Deschamps.
Oh, he looks like he can.
Unbelievable! What a player! What a paddle player! Yeah,
Did you see him play?
yeah. I saw him playing in Dubai. He was on the court like over there. I was asked Didier Deschamps, and they said he's here every day. He was out in Dubai. Don't know what he was doing out there, but he comes every day, and he could tell. Like, and let's be honest, this is a man who's won the World Cup, the Champions League as a player and a manager. That's no one has anyone ever
but
done
can he
that?
do it at paddle? And you're saying
I'm
yes.
saying yes. I'm saying
Wow.
the man I want on my side is Didier Deschamps.
I think from a marketing aspect and aesthetically, it would be it'd be a broadcasters and marketing dream to have you and Didier.
I think so. It's like a
Massive.
large combination. It's like me and Defoe all over again. Me and Deschamps.
Oh my God, it's so good. What would you go for, Steve? Paddle Kenny?
We're going to go for my paddle partner.
Yeah, who's your paddle partner?
Oh, Joe plays a lot. John Terry plays a lot.
Does, yeah.
Jody Morris, they play. They got a little school going.
What is causing this surge in paddle, by the way?
it's
What-
good.
It is good. I'll tell you it's good. I'll tell you it's very good. Bobby Zamora's very good.
Yeah, Bobby can play.
He has
really.
lessons, Bob's. Have lessons.
Paddle
Joe
lessons?
Cole
Yeah.
loves it. I got
Cole, he
whipped by
loves it.
Thomas Frank, didn't I?
Oh,
Me and
yeah,
Joe,
you
me
said.
and Joe went down to the training ground and got whipped down there.
Yeah,
He's good.
I'd go. It'd be a toss up between JT and Bobby Zamora, but I'll go Bobby because he has the lessons and he goes for it.
Keen as mustard.
Yeah.
Who's your golf partner?
I'm going to stick with you, mate.
Yeah, one of
Oh,
those.
you've bombed me out, but
Are you going to stick with me?
I'm going to stick with my man.
I forgot we were partners.
Exactly. I didn't want to bring it up.
I forgot we were partners.
It's worse than that.
Crouch
You gave a
Wells.
top. You gave a top three
The
as well.
purple, the purple Spitfire.
We play together every year and we are rank outsiders. I've dropped him like a stone.
I'll take it. I'm looking for a new partner next year.
No,
I'd listen.
I was just thinking about like top golfers. You know what I mean? We're still not top golfers.
We played last week for the first time in a while.
Took a big scalp.
Big scalp.
Who?
Took a big
Scalp.
Can you say?
No, they didn't. Just lads at the local
Okay.
Yeah.
club. But big scalp. Good player.
Really?
Yeah. We if we turn it on, we can turn
Did they? So big win for you, big scalp. Was it equally sort of demoralising for them? As in, did they come away going, weather's not great, like, oh, I wasn't on it today? Were they making excuses?
We was four. Was we 4 up or 5 up?
We're flying out the traps.
Yeah,
Really?
That's
we
what
we just had to hold on really,
Yeah.
for dear life.
The big man just kept his at arm's length.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you think you're the talk of the clubhouse now? Is people have underestimated
Yeah, don't
the
underestimate
Crouch
us.
Well,
Yeah.
as I think it was just called?
It is Crouchwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the odds were a scandal last year, weren't they? They give us. Everyone was like 3s and 4s to 1, and we give us like 50 to 1.
Wow.
So we all had a bet on it, and in actual fact, it was right. We got nowhere near it.
My golf's going okay. Hasn't really improved at all, but I'm having lessons every week. So
you still
just
having
gotta stay with
lessons?
it. No, my plan is do the lessons all throughout the winter,
Good job.
and then emerge in the spring like a butterfly.
Well, here we go, because 2024, there is golf competitions. There is pro-ams to be had. So that we can get in there.
Yeah, I can't get anywhere near them.
Well, you can.
Well, yeah, no, you can. Well, you can play. We'll get you in, and if not, you can just do the barbecue after.
I'll do the barbecue. If anything, I would sort of prefer that.
Oh,
actually.
that's fine. Well, you
I
shout
can't
when
think
we-
of
when we tee off.
anything more intimidating than playing golf with you boys.
I'm with you. No,
I can't think of anything. I genuinely can't.
Really?
I would do probably anything in front of you boys except for that. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking.
absolutely anything.
Anything, probably.
Yeah.
I can't think of
I
one
don't
thing.
think you need to worry about that.
It's a relaxing sport.
Honestly, I think it's very, very nerve-wracking playing in front of a crowd and on TV or whatever. But playing with us, you'd be totally fine.
Can you imagine the first time I have to hit a drive in front of you boys? Can you imagine? The
Mate,
pressure?
I still struggle with it myself, playing with new people. Massively
Yeah.
struggle with it.
I think for banter, you should bring out the Puttosaurus on just for the first hole. That would be good.
I'd like to see
Yeah.
that. All right, then, lads. Do you know what? I just want to wrap this up with a chocolate 11. Okay.
Where is he going?
All right with you.
Whose
Go for
idea
it.
was the chocolate?
Josh.
Josh. Okay.
Josh has come. He's wrote in. Kit Kats for Michael. It's a terrible start. John Terry's chocolate orange. No.
Yeah.
Has he ever been offered? There must have been a
John
tie-in
Terry's
that he's been
chocolate
offered
orange.
at some point. He must
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, I would have thought
Yeah.
so. I've just looked down this list.
Since
There's
that
some
could be a
belters.
nickname for you, that couldn't it?
What's that?
John Terry's chocolate orange.
Oh, fucking hell. You sound as a bit of parching, mate.
Gary Revel,
Nice.
Rolo Torre,
Rolos, how good are they?
Double Deckenbauer,
This is a belter.
Kinder Bemo, Jeremy Aliadi Claire. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Aliadi Claire. Alexis Cara McAllister. Fantastic. Aguero Rocher.
That's the one. Aguero Rocher.
Robin Van Hershey. Wow. Edin Deco.
Oh, Decker. Double Decker, would it be then?
Must be.
Well, the subs are Vincent Kompany, obviously. Fredo. Literally.
That's the best one.
Fredo. It's just one. Fredo. Wow. Mark Overmars. John Arna Reeses. Alex Roby. So.
That's good.
Some great ones in there.
Yeah.
Actually, much better than I thought.
Aguero Rocher. That's
Well done, Josh.
very, very good.
All right, guys, listen, we'll leave you with that. And I hope you enjoyed the Neil Warnock pod because we loved it.
Chumbawamba, everyone.
Chumbawamba.